Gentlemen, thanks to our friend Soap from Cat Clan, we've got ourselves a tournament final. It's a best of 5 between Uplight and Magellan. I've never had the chance to play against Magellan. I did play against Uplight. The guy teared my ass 2 battles in a row. Very good player, very good on micro and so on and so forth. And yeah, that's it. This should be very interesting. We'll jump into it right now. So we're actually going to have Kolkis against Mighty Massilia. Massilia is going to be controlled by Uplight. As per Magellan is going to be Kolkis. So Soap was telling me that the rules of this tournament were pretty complex and each faction kind of had their restriction and own rule set in order to balance the whole game. I will not go over those rules for they are very complicated. We'll just enjoy the show. So for Kolkis, it's going to be interesting. We're actually going to see Kolkis going for those elite spear. As per Massilia is actually going to skip on the heavy spears and opt more for cavalry-based, axe-based build. So we'll get a lot of armor penetration, also slingers. For our friend Magellan, there's going to be 3 Eastern Slingers, Kolkin Noble, 4 of them. There's going to be 2 Kartli Axemen each flank. Then the Ilsmen are going to be in the middle, I would assume, to support and blunt or eat the charges for the Kolkin Nobles, which have 30 weapon damage. Noble Cav, there's going to be 4 of them. That is correct. So good build all around. We're going to see Horse Archers as well, of course. Slingers, 3 of them. There's going to be Tarentine Cavalry. Massilian Hoplite is one of them. Then it's a mixture of Thorax Swordsmen on the flanks and then Axe Warriors in the middle. There's also going to be Massilian Cav, APS Lancer. 2 of each. So the general is actually going to be APS Lancer. Interesting. People tend to go for the Massilian Cav as a general to be able to use their APS more aggressively. I guess we will see perhaps a usage of them late game. Straight off the bat, I would personally... Well, it's hard to tell. Honestly, that Kolkis build is super freaking good. It's not a faction I use often, but that's a very standard strong build, you know? I would still feel more comfortable with the Massilian build, I believe. So CatCon players are good. They train with good players. And so we'll see a lot of maneuvering normally before the fight starts, which should be interesting. Crank up the music a little. Ooh yeah, puts me in the mood. So yeah, that's it. Skirmishing wise, I mean, it always sucks when you have to use your Horse Archers against Tarentine. It sucks so much. So yeah, thanks again So for sending me those battles. He sent me 5 of them. 谢谢好朋友. Appreciated. And yeah, that's it. So we'll see Kolkis making a bit of a maneuver to go towards the flank of the Massilian player, which is always something to expect when facing a guy from a Cat clan. They follow the same strategies very often, I find. This is a good thing. I mean, they practice it, and they're super efficient at it, so good for them. And so straight off the bat, we're gonna have APS Lancer engaging Noble Blood Cav. Now the question... I don't like this engagement for Kolkis. Doesn't have a lot of Cav to blunt. Who will win that? So I believe the Massilian Hoplite is gonna win that fight, actually. So we've got the Kartli Axemen supporting the APS Lancer. What that's going to mean is that the Thorax Swordsman will now be able to get a clean charge, normally on the Kartli Axemen, although we see the Ailman coming in probably in order to withdraw the Kartli and the Noble Blood Cap. That's going to be our first engagement. Massilian Toreros being slightly misused. Nope, he's going to use it in a score formation. Good move by him. It's going to open the flank of the Kolkin Noble. Now, I believe we see formation attack on this Kolkin Noble. Perhaps this is intended and it's so that they don't wrap on the flanks. And this is really the only moment where formation attack is going to be warded. So we're going to see the Ailmen being saved, although I wonder why it wasn't the Kolkin Nobles. Yeah. that Kolkin Noble's not gonna have a good time getting fired at from the flanks and entering combat against a squared up Massilian to Hero Spears was very damaged. I'm sure we'll see a square formation being popped right now. As the Noble Blood Cav tried to run away, it got chased by the Ippius, although we do see the Illman getting very good kills actually against a very expensive unit. Now the bow fire is gonna, I'm sure, be redirected towards the Ippius Lancer at any time soon. Massilian Optites being extricated from that fight. Huh, interesting. So they actually didn't fare that well against the Kolkin Noble, who's still winning. This Massilian Cav is gonna get absolutely shredded there, if I'm not mistaken. 35 armor against 70. Yeah, not gonna end well. So far we've seen a good job, I find, by Massilia as far as the melee engagement were concerned, although it does look like Kolki is getting the upper end. Losing decisively there. The rest of the battlefield is a different story. It's actually half and half. Half the battlefield on the left side of Massilia is going in Kolkin favor. How are the Ippius doing? So one Ippius is of the battlefield. It did not get the kill it wanted, and that's going to be the danger really when facing faction like the Kolkians with their Noble Blood Cav. They're going to be very good at chasing Ippius Lancer. They're not going to enjoy taking a charge from them head-on, and then there's going to be a nasty dilemma for Massilia. Although he's going to blunt the charge, we're going to start seeing rear charging. Good move by Kolkis. And that Ippius is going to go against that Noble Blood Cav that is going to take quite a beating. So, yeah. And we don't see the Tarak swords routing just yet, so that's actually going to be a pretty even engagement. Then the Noble Blood Cav is going to collide with those Massilian Cav. On this flank, the Tarantine should shine at this point of the battlefield, where you require less micro than the Horse Archers. Just charge them in, and yeah, make those Horse Archers run for dear life. And that's exactly what we're going to see. We're going to see the attack orders issued, and probably going to see those Tarantine going after the Slingers anytime soon. Opening the flanks with the Illman, but definitely worried that they got a nice rear charge. I would assume some jabs as well into the Axe Warrior. Quite frankly, both players did good. I find Kolkis kind of has an advantage against the Ippius, and once the Ippius did its charge, the Noble Blood Cav's going to have a blast against them and just chasing them across the battlefield. Massilian Cav actually did great holding the General, and the Slinger Fire just pouring in. Horse Archers are going to go after the Slingers. So, yeah, that's a pretty tight one, but so far, it's a tough one. Let's see. So Ippius Lancer is still pretty healthy, although those Slingers are now dying. To me, it's still pretty much up in the air. Yeah, those Kolkin Noble are very healthy. Although, yeah, Cartly Axeman as well. We're seeing a rear charge. Yeah, that's gonna go to Kolkis, easy peasy now. Thank you for sending this soap. So that was the best of one, and it seems like Magellan is gonna take the victory. So I will not be watching those battles before them starting, so we all get the element of surprise of who's winning. Nice use of the Horse Archers. They're trying to make that Slinger route. It is in steady moral. Tarantine are still confident, but oh, they're shaken. Very nice try there by Kolkis. That's something I like to do as well myself. Just pour in one volley. Look at that, just routing this whole formation. Nice job, Megalon. Beating Oplites is no small task, especially in a tournament final, I'm certain. So yeah, game one went to you, sir. Thank you very much for playing. Thank you for sharing. So a very close battle, Pyrrhic victory indeed. Those Kolkin Nobles doing absolutely fantastic, at the exception of one. Cartly Axeman's doing well as well. Illman serving their purpose. We see 23 killed there, which I believe were against that Ippius Lancer, and it would make sense that they have a Chevron. I think they got their Chevron at around 13 kills against these guys. It's a very cheap unit. Eastern Slingers serving their purpose. We got the Horse Archers. Not getting as much kill as he wanted, I'm certain, but I mean, 80, 49 LT unit is still respectable. Those Noble Blood Cav, one of them doing fantastic. That's a general. Actually, a lot of those kills were on Slingers late game. You kind of got lucky to get that many kills out of them, considering there was focus fire at one point. This Noble Blood Cav took it from Ipius Lancer. But no, good job with the cavalry, I would say, considering they were facing this Shock Cav unit. Although they're not amazing Shock Cav, it's still reliable. So for Mr. Oplite, we're going to get the Ipius Lancer. They had a tough time. Massilian had a tough time. Tyrantine doing a good job. 145 kill, not bad against Slinger again, I would assume. So now we see 3 Chevron on these guys. I didn't see at the beginning of the battle, but if that's the case, then I would assume a lot of these kills were actually on the Kolkin Noble. 128 kills, so these kills were against cheap Illmans if there's no Chevron. Thorax Swords, meh. Massilian, meh. Massilian Optite is not too good. Slinger's not too good. So yeah, good job, Magellan. That was a well-fought battle. I'll see you guys for round 2.